Jeb Jarrell, Panda President. What's the word?
Panda parenting. Two
Panda
words.
parenting.
Strip Club Video with Danny Meyers, Dane Hansen, and Jeff Jarrell starts now.
We'll explain more about that later.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We are here, Strip Club Video. That is Jeb Jarrell. I'm Danny Meyers. Where's Dane?
Dane is, the joys of being a manager. He doesn't always get to take time off when he wants to, like a DJ.
Yeah, we do have it made, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So here's a great question of the day. I want to talk about, is it time to restructure how the DJ gets paid? It's kind of been the same all along. Jeb, I'm going to ask you a question. You've been DJing for a long, long time. What year or years, like what time period was your best income?
The very late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I would think for me, it was probably, I had a good run in 2003 or 4, but mine would have been in the teens, around 14, 15, and 16. Yeah, not the teens. It's the teens. God, going all R. Kelly on me now. The teens meaning because that was when I was working a club that had 80 to 120 girls. So it kind of didn't work out. You can't really compare them. But my point is right now, are you making anywhere? I'm not going to ask you how much you make. I would never ask somebody, and nor do I disclose that. But are you making anywhere near as much money now as you were back in those heydays?
I couldn't say near. No, not at all. We've definitely had to do a mental adjustment to what's acceptable, and I still make a great living. Don't get me wrong. It's still, I would rather be doing this than just about anything else I'm doing. I could do, but the money is definitely. I make in a week probably what I could have made in one good day back in the day, as real as I could be.
Now, here's the reason I'm asking these questions. I have recently had several club owners and club managers from all over the country, and I'm sure you get this too. Hey, we need a DJ. We need a DJ. There is a hell of a shortage. And I'm not going to say there's a shortage of strip club DJs out there because there's plenty. There's a shortage of decent strip club DJs. We had COVID, which, a lot of people, when we had the big shutdown, a lot of people went on to different industries and things like that. So that took some of the big name people. But right now, we got a problem with quality DJs. We can't keep them. These people are calling me and they're saying, I need a DJ for this club, for that club. And, of course, my first question is, well, tell me a little bit about your club and tell me about your pay scale. And it amazes me how many owners and managers still want to pay $7 an hour to their DJ with no required minimum tip out.
And see that there's a lot of legality that comes into that for them as well. Where the problem is that there hasn't been a shift in the compensation of where that money should come from. And it's not. I'm lucky and grateful to get to work for the people I work for because the structure's set up to where I can make a good living, but a lot of places aren't. And it's not even in our own industry. This issue of owner operators of any business trying to get more work done for less amount of money is a phenomenon going on across America. You see it from Lowe's to McDonald's to Wendy's, all these places they're hiring like crazy, and people are like, well, why are they hiring? What's the issue? Are they not paying enough? They're paying fine. They're not giving you enough hours. These companies won't pay enough for you to get benefits, so you have to work 2 jobs to be able to afford the insurance. And it's the same sort of thing that's happening in our industry where they want to pay $7 to $8 an hour with no other guarantee of any sort of income and expect someone of the quality level that they normally would pay $2,000 a week for to produce. It's not going to happen. And that's also where the automation falls in, where people are trying to fill the gap with automation just to have somebody there to keep switching the girls up. And, when you don't want to pay full quality price, you're not going to get full quality employees.
Mm-hmm. I also have to echo what you said, that I'm in a good situation myself. I'm not talking about my job. You're not talking about your job. We are both very fortunate to have some very understanding owners and good companies to work for. But
that's not the case everywhere.
No, it isn't. And like I say, this $7 an hour and no minimum tip out. And some places are even saying we don't even want you to imply tip out. I think if you're going to do that as an owner, then you need to raise that shift pay a little bit. And
or get the money from somewhere else. I,
exactly.
I have because I've been in management. I do understand how payroll works and what every dollar paid, what it costs us. It costs us, if we pay somebody $1, it costs us $2.25 to pay them $1. It's not an easy thing when you get to payroll taxes, but there's other resources. This, going all the way back to Drayton Nay's crazy shit from 10 years ago, there are other ways to create the income to pay your staff to get the job done that you want done. Say a normal bar down the street, when you go in and on a Tuesday night, there's no cover charge. It's just a bunch of people hanging out. You go back to the same bar on a Friday night, they have a live band, there's a line out the door, and you pay $5 to get in. And no one balks at it. No one has an issue with it. They completely understand paying for live entertainment. I don't understand why it's been so difficult to sell that idea to our industry, that if there's no cover on your day shift because you have 3 girls and no DJ, maybe the cover at night could be attached to the live entertainment you're providing. There's lots of other ways you could put it onto the customer. They don't want to put anything onto the entertainers right now because of how these lawsuits are structured, and how the structure of the entertainers changing across the country. But there are still other avenues and revenues to create that income for your staff. And
Hmm.
if a well taken care of staff, I mean, it's the same thing with a bartender. You put your best bartender on the best shifts to make the best tips, because they're going to generate you the highest revenue. A DJ can do the same thing for you. A high quality DJ can increase your revenue in any strip club across the country. They can increase your revenue if they do it right.
Hmm. So what about bringing back Drayton Nay? I mean, he's an interesting person, but he did have some. He talked a good game. We'll go there. Now, Drayton always said that he wanted to put his DJs on an incentive deal. And I agree with that 100% because you have owners that say, we're paying you, Mr. DJ, $7 an hour. And there's, no required or minimum tip out. They pay you what they want to pay you. And then you got in the same breath, the owner saying, I don't want you playing this music, this music, this music. And it's the same music that the entertainers want to hear. So, as a DJ, when you're making minimum wage and barely walking out of there with McDonald's kind of money, some girl offers you $50 to play a song that you're going to get yelled at. Yeah.
Well, that's another situation. Who are you working for?
Hmm.
If your owner operator is paying you $7 an hour and the girl's paying you $30 an hour, you're going to end up working for the girl
Yeah.
every time. The entertainer is going to rule that, and that puts the employee immediately at odds with the owner operator or the manager, who's immediately at odds with the entertainer. That system is just built for conflict,
Hmm.
and in no way is it successful. But that is the biggest model that I see across the country right now. 100%. And that's why owner operators and managers are so frustrated with DJs and what we're playing. We're playing for money.
Hmm.
There's not a single song we would ever play if it cost us money. Serious.
So, so here's my theory that I want to bounce past you. It gets back to being incentive based. It keeps everybody, it keeps the owners happy and everything. You basically completely take the tip out away from the entertainer. In fact, the entertainer's not even allowed to tip the DJ. So therefore, right now, you've got the DJ who is working 100% for the club.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the DJ is working 100% for the club, so you have to get him or her more money. I mean, there's places you can get that. You can tack on a little bit to the house fee or whatever, because all those things are legal, and then pay. But if you were to be able to pay the DJ a higher shift pay, and on top of that, give them an incentive. It could be on food sales, it could be on dance sales, it could be on champagne room sales, things like that,
Bottle sales.
bottle sales, anything like that. And now all of a sudden, the DJ who changes his whole verbiage. It's like, sell a room, sell this. Don't forget that entertainer, get her up in this room. And then your DJ starts working 100%. And because the entertainers are not allowed to give them money, you're playing the music 100% to the owner operator. Now,
That's a great system, and there are a few clubs I have heard use the system. We have expo in a few places where we share ideas, but still no one really shares everything they do. And sitting in Panda, we had kind of have this opportunity to see a broader view. But I have seen some clubs that have room sales directly attached to what the DJ gets, and it's set up almost like a tip pool. It's not just the DJ. There's security put in there. There's front of the house, back of the house. They have it all kind of bundled in together, but they've moved the tip structure coming completely off the entertainer and have spread it out into other things. I've seen rooms and bottle sales. I've seen all of those things in clubs currently right now where everyone in there is happy. There's no staff turnover, and it's sad to say somebody literally has to die in those buildings for somebody else to get a job because nobody wants to leave. And they're running great numbers and they're having no issues. It's kind of the secret to the success, but nobody really wants to share it who's successful. But definitely finding other access revenue points where they're going to work harder to sell those things will definitely increase the bottom line. Selling 20 bottles of champagne a week and all of a sudden your staff starts getting $5 off each bottle, you raise the price $10 and sell 20 more. It's a win.
Yeah. So what do you think about, because again, when I talk to club owners and managers, there is a set fee that is paid to the DJ. And it's always the set fee. That doesn't matter how good you are, how much experience you have. If you just came on last week, you were the bar back, and today you are the DJ, and you're making the same shift pay as everybody else. I mean, why isn't it more like sports? I mean, not every player on the baseball team is making the same money. You've got people that do more, should be able to make more. I mean, when are the clubs going to start paying DJs by their individual worth and what they bring to the club?
Well, that would mean we'd actually have to show a value. And that's the trick is for those of us who've gone out, try and find other jobs and work other places, you have to know how to present yourself with a value. What are you bringing to the table to the owner operator or to the manager? And honestly, whoever provides the most, what I call Advil, doesn't cause a headache and gets rid of all the other headaches, your value's way up there as a DJ, way up there. They will love you. So, the higher trade record you have in this industry. And it's a tough one. We're in a weird business where if you move too much, you're not stable. But if you don't move enough, you don't know what you're doing in the world. So, it's hard. Where are the DJ trading cards?
Yeah. We need Panda cards, man. You're the president of Panda. Come on, man. Get us trading cards.
And I will say there are some lucky individuals in this world who are still working gigs that pay just like they used to back in the day. And I'm jealous of you guys. I know who you are. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
But those still exist. But overall, the majority of clubs are kind of middle to smaller clubs. They're in strip malls or small standalone units. They're all structurally based the same with an hourly wage and a no required tip out. That is literally 90% of probably the clubs across the country right now. And as the entertainer classification changes, they're going to have to do something to come up with a solution to take care of their staff. And it's not just DJs, that the money's going to change all the way around for all of the staff, for the waitresses and the bartenders, the barbacks and the floor guys, VIP hosts. The structures are going to change all the way across, and the owner operators are having to become pretty ingenuitive to come up with new ways to pay all of their staff and make everyone happy. But the ones that do will be successful. The ones that get behind on this will be like McDonald's and Burger King and not able to run a full operating staff and always out of product. It's going to be a rough go if they don't get this right soon.
I had a conversation with the guy, and I'll leave his name out of it, but he is very, very high up in a very good company. And he was talking the other day about how hard it is to find good DJs, because right now, as you said earlier, the good DJs are working. The good DJs are in a stable Most of them are in a stable situation, in a situation that they're very happy in. I am one of them. I'm in a great situation. I'm very happy. I'm doing exactly what I want. I'm working part time, and at my age, that's exactly what I want. So I'm in a good situation. I can't tell you how many times I get offered an opportunity to audition in another market, and
We'll take you right now, Danny. Don't even play.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Pony family wants Danny Myers anytime.
Danny Meyers is I'm content where I'm at. But you know what? I mean, the crazy part is that's where the DJs need to step up their game, because you've got these clubs, again, like I was saying, that are paying $7 an hour, and they want a top name DJ for it. If a top name DJ, I mean, most of them have great jobs anyway, but yes, things happen. Sometimes clubs get shut down, clubs go under, things like that. And that's the only way you're going to get a major DJ who's available. But a major DJ is also going to go to another major club, not this corner bar that's paying $7 an hour and no tip out. So I guess what I'm trying to say is $7 an hour, no tip out. You're going to get the guy on the microphone who sounds like he's taking your order at McDonald's.
All I can say is you can't even pay automation $7 an hour.
Yeah, yeah. Another good point. I have no idea what the
I guarantee it costs more than $7 an hour. I guarantee it.
And plus, it doesn't take your headaches away, because somebody's still got to load the music and select what's good and bad. So
somebody, it's a tool. The better the operator, the better the product. It's simply a tool. It's not going to. It'll keep you afloat and moving slowly forward, but it will not get you anywhere. The human operator is still important. It's just like an automatic bar pouring machine. It's going to pour the beer all day long, but without somebody smiling at you, it's not going to increase revenue. So, it's the same sort of thing, but I promise you what they're wanting to pay a human being, automation costs more.
And then let's talk about, because I get this question a lot, how much should a DJ expect to make? What should a good DJ make? And I mean, there is no answer to that. It really depends on your market. If you have a market with 30 or 40 clubs in it, say like a South Florida, you might not be able to, the average pay may not be what it is in a little city in Nebraska that has 2 clubs within a 300-mile radius. It's supply and demand.
Well,
So
we can get pretty generalized. Saying a small club that runs under 50 entertainers, that runs under, say, 300 customers a night, an average DJ would probably do between $400 and $500. That's probably right about where they're at. So you could look at, for owner operators who don't know, $400 to $500 on an average weekend shift for an average mid to small size club. That's the money. $200 on a Wednesday is a great Wednesday in a small club. So, it just kind of depends. Giant, massive clubs, they're doing $2,000 on a 5-hour shift on a Thursday afternoon. So that's a completely different kind of category. But overall, I'd say $400 to $500 on a Friday or Saturday night in a small club, under 50 girls, under 300 guests.
Okay. And what percentage of DJs do you think, in your mind? I mean, obviously, we don't talk money, but what percentage of DJs do you think make over $1,000 nightly average?
A percentage?
Yeah. What
Let's say
percentage?
we'll say we have 1,200 registered pandas. The guys that make over $1,000 a night are probably under 25 of those guys.
Yeah.
I'd say there's probably, there's enough giant clubs. And it's, back in the day, there was a lot more of these, but anywhere from, Tootsies to Scarlets to Sapphires, going all up and down the East and West Coast. LA used to be that way, but not anymore, because the pay structure changed. But, massive clubs. Oh, I'm sure these guys are still doing well. Still doing well. But those are the big boys. Those are the ones that everyone wants to go work at until they get the job and realize they can't keep the job. It's easy to get a job in our business. It's way harder to keep it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this up in a couple of minutes, but I want to go to one more subject on all of this. And that is, what does a small market DJ do to get his name out there? What are the things that they can do to up their worth so they can maybe be considered by a major club for the major money? How do you go from being that corner DJ?
Man, you got to put yourself out there and be ready to be attacked, be belittled, be, all the negative things you could possibly think of are going to come at your way, and you're going to have to survive. But you have to put yourself out there. Be opinionated, but make sure you worked hard on creating your opinions. Don't just do it because that's what you think. Really do some research and find out why people think the way they do when you put your voice out there. Because there's always going to be somebody argue with you. Always going to be somebody say you're fucking wrong and you're full of shit. You got to be ready for that too. Be prepared to move. You can't be scared to just jump in the car and go. That's a terrifying one. It's not as easy as it sounds. And then make sure that you're working as hard as you possibly can in your place. You want to be the most valuable individual inside your facility. That's going to create the draw for you to go to another place. If every place you leave is sad to see you go, you're probably doing it the right way. If they're like, thank God that motherfucker left, you're probably not going to get another gig pretty soon. But really shake hands of every person that walks in the building. The more individual customers the better off you are. Ask your boss, how can I make your day easier? How can I help you, achieve your goals on a daily basis? And work together as a team. That's going to create value, because these guys will accidentally be your promoters. Even though they don't want you to go anywhere, they're going to tell somebody how much they like you, and that kind of helps build your energy across the entire country. There's not that many of us. We're kind of a small family in a small industry. Even though we're a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, we're still kind of small. It's not that hard to become that popular, or people know you. So remember, when you're responsible for everything you do.
Yeah, you gotta step up your game. I think there's a big difference. What do you do in your off time? Meaning, do you just go in, clock in, punch the time card if you've got one, and play some music, and put girls on stage, and then clock out, and then do your own thing? Or are you actually researching things? Are you researching, if you're in a newer music market, are you researching your music? Are you going on the radio station playlists that are in your area and see what the radio stations are playing? Are you checking the Panda charts and seeing what's working? I'd get a plug-in for those things, didn't you?
Yes, thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's one of those things where those of us that do it, and we don't even really think about it. But I fucking live this life. Like it's not I clock out at 5 a.m. and I'm done. I'm 7 days a week. I wake up, eat, breathe, and shit fucking strip club industry stuff. So you have to be completely passionate in it if you're really going to run too. That is a big part of it. And being involved too. Another thing is the promotions, being involved in your club's promotions. Some of those promotions are in days you're off, and you can help build them up a little bit, get involved a little bit. Everything you do inside your business creates more money for you at the end of the day.
And that's going to bring up another point. And you are really, really good at this, by the way. When you come up with an idea for a promotion, don't just come up with an idea for what you guys need today. You need to do a this or a that. Now, go into it with how you personally are going to bring this promotion together. I mean, everybody's got ideas. Ideas are like assholes. Everybody's got one. The biggest thing, I hate people that keep saying what the club needs to do, Well, what have you done to help that? I mean, and you are really good at that. I mean, I see you and Dane and the people down there in Pony, really working hard to promote the events, the features, things like that. I also do that myself. But I learn a lot of that from you guys. We have some good conversations. I learn a lot from you, man.
And it goes back and forth. We feed off each other, and that's another little tip of the trade: is surround yourself by all the people who are doing the things you want to do, and that kind of helps you achieve your goals too. Don't surround yourself by a bunch of idiots who are talking the bullshit to bring you down. The smarter people, hang around them. I without a doubt could not have gotten through life without the smarter people I could call and ask and help me out with every problem I come across.
So to recap today's show, owners, managers, make sure your DJs are making enough money to survive and to do well and to enjoy their job. Things like that. DJs, make sure you're stepping up your game and doing the best that you can. And hopefully then we'll all start making some money again.
Yeah. It's definitely rocking and rolling. Everything's open again. And all the clubs are starting to realize that we've had to restructure. and it's been a little bit different. And there's still some major changes coming across the board for our industry that we're going to have to go through. But this business is always changing. That's half the fun. It constantly evolves.
Well, I'm going to jump off here because I have to get on Instagram and tag all of my entertainers and tell them that I am working tonight and come into the booth. Those are the little things I do. Tag your entertainers, and tell them all I'm working. Come in, play. So I have to go and do that. So I go in and I have a successful night. One of my little
Awesome.
tricks. Jeb, thanks so much, man. We got to get this guy. What was his name? Dane Handsome
Yeah,
or something.
Dane Hansen, right? One of the guys that did that song "Umbop" back in the day.
Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
handsome.
Let's get him on.
Yeah, we got to get him back on the show sometime. He adds a lot. Strip Club Video.